You should be there for Halloween.
Yeah, real niggas do real shit. I don't wear outfits. I'm an RN every Halloween.
This new thing is pretty dope.
What new thing? Oh, YouTube Live.
I don't know if this is the good side of my beard, but
it ain't the good side of my natural.
So you better move your
30 seconds, DJ.
What?
Don't move your mic.
For me?
A half a gallon right here, but God
All right.
Oh, you getting this quick status? Just put that out there.
Damn.
I got you.
You got to be gentle with it, cause
I'm trying to get a good view of that.
hey, there he is.
Oh, maybe we should turn it this way.
No, we're good, right?
Where's your phone?
We're good. Everybody's good.
Hey, give me that right there. I'm about to go live too. Oh,
What's up? What's up?
Just make sure y'all tag me in the lives because I ain't going live.
Well, my phone's about to die.
I don't know how to do all of these type of things. It's like 74 devices going on right now.
I know.
I don't have anywhere to put mine. So
How we already got 6 comments?
Yeah. Are we live? Oh shit. Hey y'all, welcome to Happy Hour Talk Show, y'all. My name is Justin Tabb. I'm here with my 2 co-hosts and special guests. Introduce yourselves.
Hey y'all, it's Quita.
Big Daddy Cash. Big Daddy Cash.
Big Daddy.
is my mic on?
Your mic is on.
Hello, my name is Anthony Richardson. Formerly known as Incredible Hulk. No, my name is Anthony Richardson. A lot of people refer to me or call me as Hulk.
So he's being extremely humble right now. This is the one, the only Hulk. Big Hulk.
What's that theme music like? Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
He ain't get no sound effects. As a matter of fact, he didn't even look up at you.
He like,
He ain't paying attention. He's already feeling that LIT.
all right, y'all. I want to get started today. Y'all want to start about the major topic around probably the world because I see it on CNN this morning.
It was definitely on CNN.
I seen it on when I went into work this morning.
We made it to the world.
It was on Louisville was on the world news. Talk about this Kroger shooting, man. Racism. And the fact that it's probably more alive than it's ever been.
That is due to a couple of different reasons.
Give me your intake on what is your intake? All 3 of y'all.
Party foul.
Wow. How could I hear spilling a drink?
Was that on camera?
Probably.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
And you all can call in and debate with us and talk to us about our topics too. Today.
911.
Ooh, I'm gonna spill your call in at 384-6483. And I want y'all input on everything. I want your input on this Kroger shooting and you guys and what you guys think about it because personally, I think it's tragic. I think it's tragic. And it's for the black race, this is a black eye. I don't know if you guys agree.
Honestly, it's tragic, man. Tragic is an understatement. You got 2 innocent families that have been affected. And there's nothing. I'm actually speechless. Y'all know I like to talk a lot. We joke a lot, but mental illness and all that's a real thing. And if you got a brother or somebody or a sister, they may be suffering in silence. So check on your people, man, because life is definitely a short movie, and you never know when they're gonna roll the credits.
I think for you to randomly go in and spot a black person and shoot them, that's mental illness at its fullest.
It's mental illness and racism, and I think the problem is a lot of people we act like they can't coexist, like it has to be one or the be both.
Yeah,
and a lot of times it is both. It's not a justification. It doesn't make you exempt from punishment, but mental illness is definitely a real thing.
I don't care what angle you look at it from. It's racism. No matter what people like, well, you don't know what was going on when you walk past people, you target a black person, you shoot them in the head, that's hatred.
That's definitely hate.
That's hate in your heart. And for you to shoot an innocent black man in the head, and then when he falls to the ground, you unload on him. He falls, you stand over him.
Wow.
Stood over him. Like it's crazy when you stand over stuff, but when he stood he stood over.
Facts.
He's not laughing at that.
Not at all. It was something.
Something happening.
But I would like to chime in. Not the most hurtful thing because it's all tragic, but a very alarming situation is his 12-year-old grandson was with him, and obviously you witnessed your grandfather die or be murdered in that form of fashion, which can cause, let's say that, an amazing amount of rage, anger, emotional outpour from a kid who is learning to manage his emotions, to now he could potentially have revenge on his heart for someone who looks like the guy who murdered his grandfather. So extended family actually is the nephew of the murdered Mr. Stallard. So TJ, brother, we praying for you, keeping your family and the prayer of the other victim, and especially his grandson, because he has to live with that image forever.
And I don't think PTSD it affects more than just Army veterans and former police officers. Matter of fact, if you grew up in poverty, there's probably a 90% likelihood that you have some form of PTSD as well.
Absolutely.
I think witnessing a crime like that puts a lot of hatred in your heart.
Correct.
So he would grow up with hatred towards, like you said, towards a man look like him, or even the white race, because it was racially motivated.
Correct.
So white people now, it probably will affect the way he look at white people the rest of his life. Like, he would never look at a white person the same. And I don't blame him, because who do you trust when somebody who you don't even know kills your own grandfather in front of you?
Absolutely.
Well, at this point, I think it's just important for the community and those around him to wrap their arms around that young man, because he's gonna need all the support he can get. Watching somebody being murdered is hard alone, but watching somebody you care about and love being murdered, that's tough.
You go to Kroger's just to go grocery shopping. And then I heard another story, which I confirmed today, that the second lady he shot was loading groceries into a car, had her back to him. Correct. He went up to her, shot her in the back. She fell to the ground. He shot her some more and walked off. That's when somebody exchanged gunfire with him. So a elderly woman who went there probably just to get groceries to feed somebody or herself or her family was shot down innocently in a parking lot loading groceries. Imagine loading groceries into your car and somebody just randomly shoots you.
Just imagine doing anything at the grocery store and somebody comes in and shoots you. But if there is a silver lining in this, earlier today, actually, they reported that he actually tried to get into a church out in J-Town. Yep. And was unable to get in. It seemed like he planned on killing a lot of people that day that looked like me and you. And he unfortunately couldn't get in. So
it is amazing how you can target somebody and kill somebody because of their skin color. And I hear, whites don't kill whites, and people say blacks kill blacks. But
if you say that to me, if you bring up black on black crime at any point to me, I'll probably block you. That's just me. I don't want to hear that black on black crime, because you can't talk about black on black crime without talking about the other stuff.
Right, that's not even a comparison.
No. Can I ask you a question? Do other races kill us because they see us killing each other, so they think it's justified?
What, they kill us?
No. Or not really justified, or as they see that as what they do it to each other?
Nope, they kill us.
I don't say, do they look in there? Is that what they see in their eyes, though?
Nope, we are, from the time we are children, small children. You saw it a couple weeks ago with the 9-year-old boy that allegedly grabbed the lady's butt. Yeah. We are seen as predators and criminals from a very early age. We've all experienced, especially every black man in this room right now, from a young age, you've probably experienced some form of racism, or people looking at you thinking you're stealing or you're aggressive because you're black. That's a real thing.
Yeah, we are targets.
I don't think that that's a reason people kill us or look at us as monsters. I think that's a excuse after the fact. Yeah. Because black on black crime is this percent of murders, so it's an attempt to justify. So it's I will put this out there, y'all. We are live on YouTube. Go to 97 to Beat. You can view the whole panel. And like I said, you can call in at 384-6483, and everybody can join us in this conversation as we talk about racism and how it affects all communities, but mainly the epidemic of the black community, because the black community is very affected by it. Absolutely. And I think the more think about racism, it's random when they do it, when they commit crimes against us. They don't do it to where they do what we're comfortable at. They come into our element, church, grocery stores, and and stuff. You go into the grocery store to go grocery shop. You're not expected to get shot in the head from the back, and then laying down and somebody unloads on you. So that right there. I don't even want to go to Kroger's no more.
Right.
But this is why I encourage everybody to know your rights, learn how to use a gun, protect yourself and your family at all times. Whatever you got to do, protect yourself, because it can happen anywhere: church, grocery stores, school,
movies,
movie theaters, parks.
I just don't.
Everywhere.
And I was also heard that there was that I would love to try to get in contact with this guy any way we can. The guy that exchanged somebody exchanged gunfire with him.
I believe that was a mistake by the news media to make the guy who encountered him, also a white gentleman, not look as passive with the act, because his son did a live video. The son of the white gentleman in the parking lot who heard gunfire, he drew his weapon and was on the other side of the car. And this is from the mouth of his son. There's a video, I think, WDRB. So he heard the gunfire, drew his weapon on the other side of the car, then seen the white gentleman, Mr. the coward who did this act. I don't know his name like that. Gregory something.
Yeah, we'll call him Coward. Yeah, Gregory.
Coward.
So he saw him exiting the store. They apparently locked eyes. I don't know how close they were in proximity, but Mr. Coward said, "If you don't shoot at me, I won't shoot at you. Whites don't kill whites." And the gentleman on the other side of the car, who also had his weapon, he didn't engage. He kind of complied, which we can all debate what we would have done, should have done, because emotions are high. You are nervous, and I don't know. There's not a lot of people who've been facing that situation where there's a guy with a gun and you got a gun and you don't know what to do. You really don't even know the backstory. But the long story is, he then walked away, meaning Gregory the coward, and got in his car and was apprehended, unharmed, no standoff.
So do you think that the reason why he didn't shoot him is because he said that comment? If he would have never said that comment, do you think he would have shot?
That's pure speculation. I would love to say, because he made that statement about whites don't kill whites, but that would be judgmental. I can't make that statement.
He froze up.
He could say he froze up.
And you know what? And that's no disrespect to the person that drew his gun.
Correct.
Because we like you said, we can all say what we would have done in that situation. Yeah, but when you got a gun, when you stand on the barrel of a gun and you got a gun, it happens. A lot of people freeze up. Yep. And that's probably what happened. I don't think he didn't kill him because he was a white man. I think that
it was just a moment thing. Yeah.
I mean, and being from whatever neighborhood or whatever upbringing background, you can have experience in shooting a gun, but if you haven't had experience of a gun being pulled on you, pointed at you, you don't know what you'll do. And I've unfortunately had that incident a few times where
I've been there.
I mean, you have that weapon drawn on you or a loved one who's with you. Like, you have to kind of think through it. You can't act on emotions, because then you'll probably end up dead. But we can all speculate what had happened. But the facts is, it was a hate crime. He may or may not have documented mental health issues, but he made a decision to go kill black people intentionally and walk past white people. And making that statement further tells you it is a hate crime on racism.
Absolutely.
And instead of them labeling him as a racist, they labeled him as a white guy with mental illness.
But that's what the media does, though. So we can't concern ourselves with the media is going to label him. The facts are still the facts. That man sitting downtown with a $5 million bond. He's never getting out ever.
Okay. See, I thought they was gonna release him.
No, you crazy. You don't understand the system. $5 million. You crazy.
Due diligence, but he has a $5 million bond in which.
Okay, that's good.
So he'll never see the light of day.
But,
he'll plead insanity. He'll be over at
Central State
smoking cigarettes, chilling outside, seeing the sunlight.
Yeah, he better hope somebody from Central State or somebody that's in jail right now don't hurt him.
He's not. They're not gonna let that.
He wearing a red jumpsuit right now.
He's a PC. He ain't. He ain't coming down to what is it, the 6th floor?
Yeah, he ain't going to the 5th or 6th floor. He in PC.
He ain't got no moves. But like I said, like as somebody who walks around freely, like, you just don't never know. Like, when you leave the house, you're in danger as black folks to just be encountered with racism and be killed just by leaving the house.
We had Jessica on here ask.
to what
She-
read what Jessica just
She
said.
basically just asked, "What is the opinion of the second guy? Is he a hero? Did he make matters worse?
Who's the second
Was he
guy?
protecting
We
him?"
just talked about him.
The
He
guy
didn't-
we just talked about.
Why is he? How would he be considered a hero?
He didn't even do
That's why
nothing.
she was asking. Like, is he a
No.
What's,
hero?
what is he considered?
Did he make matters worse?
He's not.
He's a bystander.
He is a bystander that had a weapon.
Yeah.
He is not frowned upon. We don't hate him. We're not upset with him. Could he have done something differently? Absolutely.
But honestly,
he didn't make a wrong decision.
But honestly, he encountered him after the shootings were already done. So, in
Right,
retrospect,
right.
like he couldn't have done anything to prevent this. So, yeah, I don't have an opinion about that guy whatsoever. He's just another civilian that was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He drew his weapon to protect him and his family, and that's what he did. As simple as that.
From what the report of his son, he didn't know what happened. That
Yeah.
dude killed anybody. He heard gunfire, which apparently that was when he shot the lady in the parking lot. He heard gunfire and drew his weapon. So he was just blind into the fact. So,
Yeah, so
we cannot,
bless
like I said,
that lady's
speculate,
heart.
but I have no personal judgments
Oh, no,
against him.
absolutely not. Like, yeah, he did what any normal thinking human being would do that had a weapon at the time. I hear gunfire and I'm with my family. I'm drawing my weapon.
So do y'all feel as if the families can sue Kroger's?
Why?
No.
Kroger's had no.
There's nothing you can do to prevent
no.
a tragedy like that.
And it sucks for Kroger's.
Yeah,
It sucks for Kroger's because Kroger's is a good company.
I don't know.
This
About
had nothing to do with
Yeah.
Kroger's. It was just a venue. The same thing that happened in Colorado at the movies and every other place. I mean, if you would have gotten a church, could you blame the church?
Nope.
Not at all. Church is supposed to be a place where
When you
that
start
accepts
blaming
anybody.
when you start blaming people other
Well, I
than
wouldn't say blame, but I seen somebody make a comment saying the family should sue the.
And then people are dumb. They're dumb.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but what
the Kroger's-
grounds do you
Right,
have?
that's
Like,
why I was asking.
I mean, it's not the club. You can expect them to have security and
right,
metal
exactly,
detectors.
metal detectors. You're right. And then who's to say that guy didn't have his gun license?
Well, that's not
Who's to say
Kroger's
that wasn't
fault.
his gun?
But
Kroger's ain't got nothing to do with that. Kroger's.
Yeah.
Let's start here. Even if Kroger's permitted guns, didn't had security
Right,
or not,
still not their
he was
fault.
not supposed to have one because of all of his past
Yeah.
criminal charges. He was not supposed to
So-
have one at all.
Have they figured out who was the gun registered under?
I don't know if they've done that thus far, but
Oh, we have a caller.
All right, we got a call. All right, we got a call.
answer the phone, sucker.
Happy hour. What's up? Who's speaking?
Yo, what's good? This is Deuce from Feeling Rich.
What's up,
Hey,
dudes?
dudes.
What up, bro?
What's up, y'all? What up, everybody? How y'all doing?
We
How you
doing
doing, man?
good. What's-
So,
Go
I
ahead,
got a
dudes.
question. So, do y'all feel like there was any connection between Mr. Maurice, who was killed, and his daughter, who is the chief racial equity officer for the state?
I heard about that today, and that made me think today when I heard that because
Because
she has
You gotta-
power.
because I'm trying to figure out, like, she's working to get all these laws passed. She's working for all this equality. She's working to get all of this stuff. And then with these elections that's supposed to be coming up and some of the other stuff that's coming up, it kind of seemed like more like that person might have got sent in there just to, make an example out of that
So
to make her stop doing what she's doing.
But how do you explain the random shooting in the parking lot? That could be why
Maybe
he was
he
targeted. Could not. We don't know.
I think
Right,
if she was
so-
targeted, it would have been more calculated. He just went into a Kroger in broad daylight on a Wednesday afternoon. You know what I mean? I feel like if it was a hit, it would have been more, organized.
And he wouldn't have went to the church
No,
prior
also,
to.
if it was a hit, maybe it wouldn't have been more organized to throw it off. To throw it off like
Yeah.
it wasn't a hit.
I mean,
Maybe
Like,
that's why he
yeah,
put an
because you
innocent
got to
person in
think,
the
why would
parking
they
lot.
go in there and out of all
Out
the
of all the
people
black
that was in
people
there,
that was in there.
why would he be the one who got killed? I mean, I understand it was an elderly lady who got killed too, lost her life. But like you said, that could have been a throw off.
it could have been. There's a lot of speculation, but
It
then
definitely could have
again,
been.
you look at his history. He doesn't have any rationale behind him. Somebody could have sent him in, but
No,
I don't. I figured if it was a throw off, he would have shot more people inside of the store versus leaving and then taking the life of another innocent lady.
absolutely. I think that
Yeah.
what they should look at was that lady or her father a member of that church that man tried to get into.
Yeah, they
Now,
should.
Right.
if they were members of that church,
Then
then
I
I think
followed
we
him
got
over to
some,
Kroger's. Yeah,
then I think we got some action. But
Yeah.
until then, I think this is just a crazy.
I think we got to read into that because he probably went into the church, saw the dude leave the church, probably followed him over there. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know because they go to churches first because that's where a majority of you can get a mass killer in there. Probably couldn't get in there, saw somebody leaving. I mean, that's a story that you can follow. I think there's more to come as they go along. They release more of it, but I just think he's had mental illnesses for years. He threatened to kill his parents. I want to say like he pushed his mom and dad down. They're 79 years old. I think he threatened to kill his ex-wife, who's also African American.
And I think, boom, what you just said, I think that's got more to do with it than anything. I think he was harboring some old feelings from his ex-wife, and he was just, today was going to be that day, or yesterday was going to be that day. Somebody was going to die that was black.
Yeah, because when you get your feelings hurt, go ahead, dude.
Yeah, I just thought I would ask if anybody, because I had heard a couple, things about it, and I know how politics work once you get to a certain level. So, like, I just try to look at everything from every angle. Not saying that that's what it is. That was just a question if anybody else thought that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
I read about it earlier, and it crossed my mind too. Then when they brought up at church, we are detectives when we start hearing stuff. So
yeah. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get out first, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. I'm tuned in. I'm over here, listening, watching everything that y'all saying, trying to, gain some this knowledge and different perspectives.
We appreciate the love, dudes.
I swear, man. I appreciate you calling in.
Deuce.
Feeling rich.
Right, man, y'all be careful.
You too.
Sure, man. Y'all be blessed.
All right, I got a question on my Facebook. It says, what can we do to protect ourselves or be prepared for things like this to possibly happen? The only thing you can do, obviously, we're vulnerable at various times. In Kroger's, you're very vulnerable. You have no idea what the next person, whether black, white, or Mexican, is doing next to you or what their intentions are. If the place allows you to carry a weapon, you can carry a weapon as long as you have your carry and conceal. Obviously, you can still carry a weapon without a carry and conceal, but it must be displayed.
Kentucky, a lot of people don't know that Kentucky is an open carry state.
So you have your right to carry. It's just if you want to conceal it, you have to have a license to do so. You can carry, protect yourself, make sure your family's safe. But this is senseless. It's not preventable. Honest to God, truth is it's just
nothing you
not.
can stop.
Her back was turned. Even if she had a gun, she didn't even have time to pull.
When there's hatred, there's nothing you can do.
Pretty much.
They sing you out when you're most vulnerable. They don't come after us when we're together.
Ready.
Yeah.
But that's what Huck was saying, man. You got to be prepared at all times. And I encourage everybody, white, black, Asian, Avatar, blue, be aware of your surroundings. Like, seriously, be aware of your surroundings.
Don't forget, you guys can call and interact with us, 502-384-6483. If you got opinions on this, let us know. Because, I think also, as a community, we got to come together for that boy.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now, what's more important right now is that 12-year-old boy who seen his grandfather get shot. That's more important right now.
Absolutely.
There's nothing. There's more that we can do. But as a community, there's a young black man who just experienced an elderly white man shoot his grandpa in the head and kill him in front of him. Like, I couldn't imagine living with that, sleeping at night.
Just think about it. He's 12 years old, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So think about it. From the time he graduates, he's probably going to see thousands of white men that look just like the man that killed his grandfather in positions of principals, teachers, grocery store workers. He's never going to be able to get away.
People
from
with high authority that he has to look at now and respect. He would not respect them.
And you know what's going to happen? He's going to show some form of aggression, and he's going to be labeled. And he's going to be labeled. Oh, he's a trouble kid. You damn right. You damn right. He's troubled. He watched a man that looked just like you gun his grandfather down.
I see it every day.
So
literally,
yeah, and it's I can't imagine. I honestly, like I said, I'm speechless. I wouldn't know what to say to that young man, other than
we're here for you. We're praying for you. But at situations like that, we said we're praying for you, but does prayer really work in situations like that?
Yes, prayer always works, but it doesn't answer. Nope. You can't say it'll fix the situation right now. He has to care about prayer
at that point.
He doesn't right now. And at 12, you don't even understand the power of prayer. I would go with 5% of 12-year-olds may, and that's the influence that's been around you. So maybe his family's done a great job to keep him in the church, keep him prayed up, keep him focused on. But we don't even know if that's their religion.
But but even the most devout Christians or whatever, prayer in all religions, do
you question God at this moment?
Yes,
absolutely.
Especially, and I've had those specific questions with like preachers or pastors or whatnot, and people who've been ordained, like you always question like why does bad things happen to good people or innocent people? You always have those questions, but that's just what faith is. If you have faith in something, that you stay strong in that, and you may have questions, but then you ground yourself and move forward.
And see, I'm the opposite. Like I'm the black sheep of the family. Like I'm not religious. I believe in a higher power and all that good stuff, but to me, it's about self-preservation. You know, the first law of human nature, and you got to take care of yourself. And that's why I said I encourage everybody to really, really be aware of your surroundings. Stay aware of your surroundings. Take care of yourself.
Okay, so earlier, like, I guess I have to watch the way I word stuff. I'm not sure.
I saw that
Yes.
it was about to be a thing on your Facebook status.
I deleted it. What me and her actually, I think it's like his sister.
Mhm.
I made a status and I said, because I got the information wrong, I guess. And I was like, hold on. So y'all mean to tell me a man who was with his 12-year-old grandson went inside Kroger, shot it up, then went outside and shot an innocent lady? That don't make sense. I'm confused. Like, what? Why is he locked up? What really happened?
So she was
So
grieving. She was
She was
grieving.
grieving. I understand that.
And she took it out
But
on you.
would y'all take that wrong?
No, absolutely not. You actually
going
handled
off
that
speculation.
situation.
From
So,
what
you know.
I
You
I
asked
think
questions.
it sounded like, from what you just read, it sounded like the man with the grandkid did the shooting. From what you just read, I hadn't read your
that's
status
what she
earlier.
did.
No, I
Yeah,
deleted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sounded like when you just read that, the
And
man
she,
with
like,
the grandkid
Hopped on
did
my
the
status and went
shooting.
off
Yeah.
on me.
But and we have to understand that that's what people do have to realize with posts, and not that you were necessarily wrong or the information was right or wrong or
She was
whatever.
grieving.
But we also too have to understand that. And like I said, he's extended family. Like he's my Facebook friend. So like making those posts, and God forbid someone chimed in the wrong way, they're gonna lash out. They're
Right.
hurting. They're just over 24 hours removed from, uncle or grandpa or brother or dad being murdered in a senseless act.
And
This
I've
is-
done
I mean,
it before
I wrote
too.
her personally and apologized.
Right, which
but
was the right thing to do. And that's too, I mean, hurt people at the time, they may not even understand, or they may misinterpret what you meant to say.
they react with
Right.
anger because they're hurting.
Right.
Yeah,
So your first
So
reaction
you
is
did the right
anger.
thing too. That was good.
have you ever seen an RIP stat? And I've done it actually, and I almost had to beat up a family member of a deceased because I accidentally put the laughing emoji on an
Some people
RIP
do
stat.
that
It was
on
an accident. I got fat fingers, so it was an accident. And
Facts.
I went through and deleted it. You know what I'm saying? Of
Right.
course, I don't think it's funny that your family members deceased. And
Absolutely.
I had to explain to him, do you really think that that's what I meant to do? Like, you think that I think the death of your loved one is funny?
I think I think
right.
you gotta tread softly on social
somebody
media. You gotta
accidentally
tread.
a post I made earlier about it, but then they went back and
But you know why?
said
Because
that.
you are popular, Quita. So
Well,
you
wait
have
a
to
minute,
understand
hi.
with popularity comes great responsibility. And you have to be careful what you post, because these people are real people. That man that got gunned down in Kroger's is a human being, which means he has real human being family members.
Correct.
And you have a lot of friends on Facebook, and that probably wasn't the only family member that was
I
related
mean,
to him.
and then also, let me ask y'all a question. I'm gonna go back to that, but I want to go also back. As a black community, what can we do different for each other?
I know.
Because when
That's a
t-
tough one.
let me tell you something, because we always want to reach out and blame. Now I'm just saying stuff.
Oh, tread lightly.
Listen.
I hate to block my best friend.
No. This is what I'm gonna say.
Don't
No,
block
listen.
These guys log me in a block, Justin. Real
Nah,
quick.
you better not block me. Look, boy, I must go. Listen, I want to ask a question, because as a black community, when tragedy strikes like this, when a white man kills us, you know what I'm saying, we come together. But why, when we kill each other, it's
So
don't snitch.
let me-
Don't
let-
snitch.
Okay. All right. So let me answer this real quick. And,
Don't-
and,
Yeah, you.
and I'm gonna answer this in the most polite way.
No,
possible.
I'm saying.
No. Hold on.
Why
bro.
can't we come together when we kill each other to
Because
better
here's
ourselves?
the thing: how often does a black man walk into any store?
No, I'm
Look,
not saying that.
I know exactly what you're saying. We normally it's the murders that come in the streets and in the hood and in the black community are are murders that come from illegal activity.
Yes.
Period. Point blank. So yes, they're dead, and yes, it's tragic that they're dead, but they were somehow involved in some illegal activity.
They
We don't often just
Not
kill-
everybody though.
No, not everybody, but
everybody,
how many innocent people do you see getting killed in Chicago? Like just innocent bystanders. How many people do you see just at the grocery store getting gunned down because they were doing nothing but grocery
Okay,
shopping?
but do it. like in Chicago, why as a black community we not coming together to stop the crime in our own neighborhoods?
Because before you stop the crime, you have to stop the poverty. And since we have no real way to do that, the crime is always going to be there. Where there's poor people, there's crime. It's simple as that.
Story.
The
True
poor
story.
And for those
Black
of
on
us,
black crime is sad. It really is. Don't y'all think this is bigger than that?
Yeah, absolutely.
This specific
situation,
incident is
it's
absolutely
way bigger than all of that.
I mean,
It's
no comparison. But I think for black people, like what you're saying, what our community do, what Kashawn said is absolutely true. Where there's poverty, there's crime.
Yeah.
There's more crime. I mean, and that doesn't directly correlate to this because it's a different type of crime. But with that being said, ultimately, we have to value each other more, whether it's over illegal activity or legal, whatever the case may be. We do have to value each other more so that the escape when a hate crime comes our way, no one has the rebuttal of y'all do it to each other. So why is it a big deal if we do it? So it eliminates
and that's such
that,
a weak cop out, man.
It is.
It's an excuse. No matter, a crime is a crime. Now there's variations of crime, but a crime is a crime. So we have to value ourselves, and from my perspective, so that our children value each other. Because there's so many black kids that figure the way to get things done is anger, hate, violence, etc. Because it's how they see, it's how they know, it's what they've been brought up in. So if we can preach more to our kids that love more, respect more, then we may have a better outcome in that department. It'll get better.
I think as a black community, a lot of us have the mindset that money solves everything just because we grew up without it.
I'm living proof. I grew up without it, and I'm telling you.
You get money right now?
I'm getting
diamond in
in every which way.
I'm definitely doing okay.
Look at the bezel.
Quit keep touching me.
He said he got it at Dino's. It came to 3 pieces, some earrings,
and a pair of Air Forces that won the Air Force.
They had the short front.
They don't know nothing about them Air Forces at the corner store. Y'all don't know nothing about that.
All right, look. So back on, and this is can help.
Hey, can I say something real quick before we go further? Because we're gonna run out of time. Can we get a little background history on our guest today? Can we have him?
Yes.
Tell us why he's here.
I don't even really want to talk to him though, man.
You ain't got to talk to him.
And he been drinking. Y'all don't want to talk to this.
Huck is like one of my favorite people, y'all. I really love him.
I love him.
Like he's a really good person. Even though when I first met him, he was so mean to me, y'all. He hurt my feelings.
He ain't really mean. That's just who he is. But
I love him.
Let's introduce him, man, because he is a really good dude, man. One of the most solid dudes I've ever met. He's one of the people that I actually look up to. He's showing people how to be a good father, how to do work in the community. He's the definition of giving back in the best way you know how, using the resources around you. Hope, take us home.
For those of you who don't know, and on my live, you would know me, but Anthony Richardson, been having a childhood name Huck since I was probably.
Why they call you Hope?
You see why?
Them big ass arms.
All right. So my grandmother, all right, Gladys J. Brown.
Shout out to Gladys.
She sounds like a strong black woman too.
She's still alive and well. I seen her Monday. She lives in a nursing home now. But I was growing fast. So buying me whatever type clothes, infant clothes, I was growing out them quicker than a normal kid. So she made the statement one day, he's busting out of clothes like the Incredible Hulk. And my father hated it. And he calls me Hulk more than anybody ever had. But I mean, that's just nickname was given me. Of course, it grew through football. But right now I'm a behavior coach in school. So I'm titled as a resource teacher, but I've taught ECE math for the last 5 years in a special school. All the kids had emotional behavior disorders.
That's dope.
I was a child protective service investigator. So for majority of the people who didn't know, so when I was trying to find myself, using my criminal justice bachelor's, I got into social working and working with kids from that perspective.
Fun fact. Child Protective Service came to my house to investigate when I was a kid, and my mama and my auntie jumped them.
So tread softly when you go.
Tread lightly.
Hey, I don't want no trouble, but I mean that was an eye-opening experience for me, just for the fact that in my mind, my mother and father were great, and they had their own issues and all those other fun things. And those who know me know, I mean, my story, but I thought there was only one good way to parent. And that was the way my parents parented. You know, I was raised, I've never been in a set of handcuffs for pleasure or for punitive issues.
For pleasure.
Neither way.
So first of all,
if
if a grown woman if a grown man want to be handcuffed, he's weird.
Oh, that's fine. Either way.
Count me as a weird guy then.
Yep.
Wow.
Identified. But I mean, I was raised right, in my opinion. You know, I've never been into much criminal issues or whatever like that. Never been arrested. So I felt like it was a one way to parent. So being a social worker, I've seen many different ways to be a good parent. I saw a bunch of ways to be a terrible parent because anybody can get a CPS case, from the governor to the president. I mean, whatever it is. So as long as I can get your address and I can call and make up a false claim, like you can get CPS knocking at your door. So for 3.5 years, I was that. I transitioned to, I got my master's when my wife told me she was pregnant. Got an education. So I've been teaching since 2013. That's been eye-opening, like I said, because I felt like with CPS, I was helping kids on the back end when things was too bad or almost too worse. Reactive family issues, kid issues, parent issues, whatever it may be. So we had that. I felt like I wanted to help kids on the front side. So I transitioned to being a teacher. Now, like I said, I wanted to get out of the classroom because my strong suit is working with the kids socially. How to move better, developing characteristics of leadership, just helping kids understand how to navigate through life, because your education level is important, but how to act, how to deal with people is more important, because you can get through a lot of situations by, it's not always what you read in the book or what the teacher told you. Yes, you need to read, be able to comprehend and add and multiply and figure out your money, make sure it's right. But furthermore, you can get in the doors you never knew how, if you knew how to talk to people and how to treat people and how to code switch.
Respect goes a long way.
Oh my gosh.
Let me ask you a question, because it hasn't happened yet. Because thank God I have two wonderful kids, and I'm doing the best I can as a father with them.
My bad. I had a comment that said, so TJ, me and him rode the bus together. It said he hit me up on the bus back in the Jew. I was on birthday. Changed it up. And the funny thing was, he came to after we got off the bus, we did have an issue. I never hit him or nothing like that. He was considered like a little brother.
I'm sure he.
I didn't. I mean, I remember I don't remember the situation on the bus, but he came to my house after school with his brother, his older brother. His brother was probably like 18 at the time. We didn't fight. We had a conversation on my porch, and that was pretty much the end of it.
That's the way it's squashing.
You know. But
I'd be scared to fight you if I was somebody.
I'll knock
if I was a guy.
If y'all want me to, I'll knock
you look like you would
right now.
Right, I'm calling the police right now.
You would knock somebody out.
And I'm gonna be barbecue Becky. A black man hit me in the face,
and you're not missing a court date, are you?
Not at all.
That's him.
I got sick days and all. Him right there. I remember the diamonds before he hit me.
So before we finish up, let me ask you a question. What advice? Because like you said, a lot of the times, like you're working with CPS and stuff like that, you deal with stuff on the back end. Like, what advice would you give? What advice would you give parents right now for their kids?
Learn how to support your children emotionally. I work in a school. I will not identify the school, but I work in one of the impoverished schools where 83% of the kids, I think it might be more than that, but I think 83% of the children live in the West End, Portland, or west of 9th Street. There's only there's like one bus of 20 kids that go outside of the West End. In the West End, I'm including Portland and Shawnee. Yeah. So when I say I have a lot of kids, I'll tell you some of the examples that we'll have to deal with, and I have to coach the kid up, is he lied on me. So they'll start like throwing chairs, pencils, erasers, spazzing completely out.
Because somebody lied on them. Said they did this, and then the teacher questioned them. Or when they were dead wrong, and the teacher told them, like, you're not supposed to do that. You're going to lose out on your wellness time. Recess is now called wellness. But you're going to lose out on wellness time. Now, teachers go with, like, you're going to lose 10 minutes of it. So you got to walk around the track for 10 minutes, and then you can go play. Kids spaz completely out. Throw stuff. I got to go to the room and get them. You may or may not have to use safe crisis management, which is a restraint.
Like a headlock?
No, I can neither confirm or deny those allegations.
Facts.
You have to deal with stuff. So, and I'm actually, with my nonprofit and other people, are putting together a program for parents and kids to develop emotional intelligence,
We need
because
that.
That's huge.
there's so many, like I said, there's so many opportunities. Even as us as grown
Okay.
men, we respond emotionally to stuff when we could have just walked away. And it sounds stupid, but as a father now, I'll walk away a situation before I engage if I can.
You know why?
Because I vow to my kids and my wife, I will never allow another man to raise my sons. Period.
We call those in the black community N-word moments. That's what happens.
Say that again about your kids. Say it again for the people in the back. You'll never allow what?
Another man to raise his children.
Yes.
Every black man should feel like that.
But you know how many situations and acts of violence happen just from N-word moments. Somebody stepping on a shoe, bumping you too hard, staring you down too hard.
I hope
and
my
now you're
kids
doing
never
20
fight
years.
over somebody stepping on their shoe.
It happens,
It's
but
happened.
but what when you have emotional intelligence and what goes in that is confidence. Self-confidence builds your emotional intelligence, because when you know your worth, you know your value, and you know who you are and are not. When you say something to me, I do not have to believe it, so I can dismiss you. So valuing your disrespect is what people with low emotional intelligence do. People with high emotional intelligence do not value your opinion because it's yours. You can give it to me. Now it's my job to do what I want with it. Right. So people have and it's hard for kids. And I've been in that path. I was a class clown, but my mother and father kept. Watch your mouth. My mother and father kept.
You gonna take his wellness away?
Still a class.
Now I tell you what, I still won't say it's the best thing my parents did, because I was hurt, like crying hurt. I don't know how to explain the pain. They took football away from me my 7th grade year.
I've been there.
Ooh.
And I never believed they would do it, because I had the gift of pissing my mother off enough that she would let me off all punishments. But how I would piss her off, you would put me on punishment? Cool. I'm going to sit right next to you and ask you 679,000 questions until you say, get the fuck out of my house. Make sure you're home before the street lights on. So my punishment became just stay away from me long enough that I don't slap the hell out of you. But when they really took that football from me in 7th grade, I then realized it's just real.
Yeah.
Like, and
take away something that you love.
That's what you call parenting, people.
Yeah.
Why I developed Inside the Lines Training, my nonprofit, which is tutoring, training, and mentoring of student athletes, is because when football was taken from me permanently, when I say taking, my opportunity to make it to the NFL was no longer. I had had 5 knee surgeries, 1 shoulder surgery. I still need 2 replacements right now. So when that was taken from me, all I knew was football. All Huck was known for was being a beast in football, from the neighborhood to the schools to college level to tryouts. And when I blew my knee up in Cincinnati, the tryout, it was like, then what? But I had the experience of football had been taken away from me before. So I think I went through a little bit of depression trying to figure out what I was going to do next, because it sucks walking through the neighborhood or seeing your guys. And are you back home from school? When we going to see you on Sundays playing on football?
Yep.
And then you don't have an answer. It's just like, bro, I'm done. It was a hard pill to swallow for me to say I wasn't good enough. Ultimately, that's what it is. Period and point blank. I wasn't good enough. We can blame it on saying injuries would be an excuse, saying I wasn't short, I wasn't tall enough. You
wouldn't know.
It could be a reason.
You wouldn't know.
For me to heal, I had to literally say I wasn't good enough, because there are guys who come from major colleges who make it to the NFL while injured, and they allowed them to rehab. I.e., my best friend, Michael Bush. Yeah. He broke his leg in his Heisman year. He had 200 and I believe 28 yards in the first half with 3 touchdowns. Broke his leg in the first series of the 3rd quarter.
I remember that.
Dang.
But they still drafted him. Now they had a reason to not draft him in the 1st round. They drafted him in the 4th round, first pick. But they drafted him, allowed him a year to heal, and then he continued his football career. I just had to tell myself I wasn't good enough, because for a long time I felt slighted. One of those questions we were talking about earlier, God, why? This is all I know. This is all I've been great at. Everybody knew it. Nope, you cannot meet one person in this world that will say Anthony Richardson or Huck, number 99, was weak in football. Period. Without it being a joke.
What high school was you at?
I went to Mayo my first 2 years, and then I went to PRP my last 2, because of me being a class clown was predominantly that issue. But I would like to say me and the principal did not like each other. But
what's your year?
I graduated in 2003. So
okay, we got to talk after this.
I did. What school you went to?
Huh?
Okay, we beat the hell out of you. I can tell you that.
No, we never played y'all, but
What you said? No matter what school you went to.
I went to Atherton. I went to Manning my freshman year, Atherton the rest of my years. We never played PRP.
Do you see my face?
I'm not looking that way. That's why I'm looking at the. I'm looking at the wall.
I'm surprised.
I'm looking at the wall.
He went to Atherton.
Shout out to Coach Walker, Kenny Walker, who just retired from Atherton. I coached at Atherton with Coach Walker in 2013 or 14, one of those years. But Atherton should not have a football program. Disgusting. And Manual, the goats, trash. But keep going. But
we're gonna get on that later.
But I mean, that was really the reason, man. For student athletes, we put so much into the sports aspect. You want to be the next Michael Vick, Cam Newton, LeBron, Kobe, which is fine. It's great to have dreams and goals and aspirations. It is perfectly fine. But you got to be able to be confident enough that when it's taken from you, you can literally step out onto the field of life, meaning the streets or business world, and then straighten up your tie and still go be dominant in a different arena.
So that's actually
I got a message for Hulk. Somebody said you are terrible.
That's fine. I guarantee you right now they can't do nothing with me, and I'm X amount of years removed. I don't even know his name.
That's Bella.
She
trying to start stuff. We love you, Bella.
Real talk. Bella went to Seneca.
Oh,
trash. Now let me put this out there, and before I go further,
Andy Clark. Andy Clark used to ball at quarterback for them.
Don't know who that is. Didn't play against them, but they were trash. My wife, Danielle Richardson, went to Seneca.
Shout out to wifey.
She always she always provides me with the opportunity that I can go out and engage in activities and events like this. But she was definitely in special ed. But right now she's a boss.
Wow.
She's a boss. I mean, she was in a special. No, I'm just playing. She's the reason my 6-year-old wants to be a paleontologist. She's the brains. She's the beauty.
Real talk there. Real talk.
She's a one and done 26 on the ACT. I still want to fight her most mornings because I took it like 6 times and I got a 21. Like I'm upset about that. But nonetheless, she's the reason
people that got you avail with a 15. I ain't gonna say no name.
Well, I know a couple of them.
Yeah. Play football and everything.
She's the reason I'm able to get out, help the community, do so much, try to be as great as I can be, because she sacrifices with me, for me, and all.
Danny is dope. If y'all don't know Danny, man, Danny's dope, man. If you ever see them interact with each other, like I said, they real relationship goals, man.
Yeah, they are.
From parenting to just black love, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Black love, I know.
Hopefully, I get a husband like that.
You know why you ain't gonna get a husband like that?
Because you can't stop twerking.
You can't stop twerking.
I'm gonna go with you can't get a husband because you ate White Castles and you
first of all, several times a week.
And some mozzarella sticks.
And you stir. You smell like.
I need a husband that's gonna accept my twerking.
Not in public, you know.
But you can't twerk
not in public. But I don't be naked.
It don't matter. You just twerk to a fire truck driving by.
and for y'all that wasn't with us when that happened, that's a real story.
That's a true story.
We not accepting your twerk. Once we get married, bro.
When we get
you better not twerk.
Boy,
that's a case.
I don't believe in domestic violence, but I will hit you on the ass multiple times because you'll never go to the police station, pull your pants down, and say, "Look, this did to me."
Let me ask you a question.
Let the record state that you can put her in a full announcement that is not domestic abuse.
Wow.
Let me ask you a question.
I do not support that message.
I'm not going to get a husband because I have a mental disorder.
Anyways, listen.
It's called midget.
You have a growing disorder.
No, I have I do. I have anxiety.
Oh, okay. That's
anxiety?
legit.
Kayshawn does too.
I do real bad.
Talk about anxiety for people that got it out there.
It's weird, man. Anxiety is so weird, man, because
weird. Like
for people that don't have anxiety, like I know we probably seem like the weirdest people in the world that suffer from it, but it's a feeling that you can't really explain. Like it's hard to explain.
And then it is hard to explain because then it's like they don't understand. Like it's like you just go like I don't know. I'm gonna say go crazy, but you go crazy.
You can't.
Like,
it's a touch of ADHD.
And then guys be like, "You crazy, you crazy." Well, no, I'm not crazy. My anxiety's kicking.
No.
Crazy.
No, yeah.
Crazy. They're not telling you crazy.
I'm probably going to lose a bunch of followers, but I've told my mama this, my granny this. I got 5 aunts. Told them this. Told my wife this. All black women are crazy. Period. Point blank. And no, men didn't cause it. But we're going to keep going on to more positive things.
Let me ask you a question. What is the key to marriage?
Oh, that's easy. And I ain't even married.
You want me? Everybody need to turn their live
So
off.
can
not that kind of key.
Gotta give her that low.
You
gotta blow them
Okay,
back.
I'm gonna ask you a question though. In my perspective,
Nothing.
You said in my perspective. You turn it all the way around.
dick.
Yeah.
We're supposed to cut that. Edit.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I said stick.
How's the damn?
Can we
How's the damn
please-
teacher gonna be in here?
No, but
I didn't say that out loud.
I really think I can't find the dude right now because every dude I run into, they want me to stop bartending.
But okay,
That's something I
so
enjoy.
we have fine.
That's insecurity.
It
it's
is
not twerking, it's
hold on.
bartending.
But well, half of your bartending is twerking.
Yeah.
But let's keep going.
Facts.
This is why
Please
I don't. Majority of men are not able to deal with their woman being another
In the
man's
spotlight.
focal point. It's not about spotlight. Spotlight is selfish and scared. I want my woman shines, and I'll say it up like I'm okay with that. Period. She shines.
She's dope.
I'll probably never be able to make as much as my wife.
She's real thick.
She's a
got big
regional
butt.
RN and a director of nursing, and she has multiple nursing homes in 4 different states under her umbrella.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Are you black? I'm proud of my wife.
But you should always be proud.
So you know what I mean?
That's the true
But-
definition of black
But
excellence.
so literally, she's a career woman, and so like the key to marriage is this is where we are now. Transparent moment. We're both trying to be as great as we can be, career wise. I'm a teacher, so that's a 9 to 4 gig. I'm a father. I'm trying to be the best husband available, but we both have to. It'll be at 5 o'clock, and she'll call me, and I got a meeting, and she's like, "Hey, I need you to get the kids." State survey just walked in, so it's being patient, understanding, minimize your attitude. So where we are now, like I said, is we're at an ultimate sacrifice where the launch of my nonprofit is on Monday. So there's been 2 years, two and a half years of grind and exhaustion on our part, but I'm out here on the ground. So you just have to, whoever your partner is, there's no cookie cutter relationship. There's no cookie cutter relationship answer or book, but it has to be perfect for you all, because some women desire to be a stay-at-home mother, or some women desire to work a 9 to 5 where when they get off at 5, their work don't go home with them. Some men desire that. So then the other person has the ability to be ambitious. But when you have 2 people where they'll call my wife at 9:45 at night and it's like, hey, X, Y, and Z and the elderly, because she runs nursing homes, escaped, or we had this, or employees are fighting, or we're short-staffed, where she, because the boss she is, instead of calling other agencies to get replacement, she goes to work.
I understand
Shout
that.
out to white
dope.
So
Shout out to
she's not on this hourly thing. It's a salary thing, but it's a credibility thing for her that none of my buildings will fail. And I feel that too. So whenever she calls, there's no questions asked. I got to go pick up the pieces. So, but what we can do better is indulging in each other. So you just got to find what makes life great for y'all in your house, because everybody got a different dynamic. Everybody got different triggers. Everybody got different things, their love strings that need to be pulled. So when you figure that out and can master that, that's the people who are married 45, 50 years until they die, because they figured out how to accept the flaws. So accept certain flaws and keep moving. But the people who get hung up on the flaws is the people who fail, because you're not a solution-based person. Solution-based person is, here's a problem, how do we fix it? Yeah. A lot of people are, here's a problem, this is your problem, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you can do better.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can do better, because in every situation, someone can do better. It's not about me going 50, her going 50. In this arena, she might have to be 80 and I got to be 20. But in this arena, I'll be 90 and she's 10. It's just whatever makes 100% for you all.
Ooh, that's called a partnership, y'all. If y'all missed that.
I want
Hey, where I
I
getting
would
those
like
from?
a husband like Hulk.
Well, he's already taken.
First of all, you ain't gonna find a husband like Hope.
Twerking. Don't talk about my twerking.
Don't talk about her twerking. Let her twerk. She's
I'm gonna let her twerk. She gonna
until her sons, her 2
Hey,
twins.
y'all, why y'all treat my friend
I
like
don't twerk
that?
in front of my kids.
But there's gonna be a Facebook Live video, and one of his friends in daycare
No.
or
Tell
school
you.
is gonna pull up your
Daycare.
public profile and say, "Look at her
your
go.
mama.
No,
Look at her go.
no.
Ah, look at your
Look at her
mama."
go.
And now you wonder why why your son got an assault charge at the age of 7 because he done beat a kid to sleep.
In daycare.
You ain't gonna night. Everybody go night.
She got twins too, so they're gonna be jumping the hell out of people.
I actually get enjoyment from watching them fight.
No, Huck talks.
Yes.
No, Huck writes me on Snapchat all the time talking about the twins. Like, really, Quita, really. So Huck is gonna be their goddaddy. I'm telling you, I'm adopting Huck to be their goddaddy.
That's a good choice. I like.
Really,
I'm cool with that.
Really
adopting him to be their goddaddy.
Speaking of goddaddies, you know what I did? Like 10 years ago, I was like, man, my best friend, that's my dog. I'm making the godfather of my daughter. You know what I'm saying? That he had 2 kids, and I didn't even get in the voting or to run for it. I mean, how y'all feel about that? If you
what?
say you make somebody the godfather of your kids, right? Of your first kid, your number 1 kid.
Bella doesn't have good questions. Oh God!
Where is a good place to meet new people? Yes,
anywhere you are. Before you answer, the perfect answer is anywhere. There's no perfect place because you can bump into the right person leaving the divorce office, and y'all. I mean, it's just hypothetical.
It might be a divorce lawyer.
You might be able to meet them. It doesn't matter. Men and women both have to understand their partner's true goals.
So to elaborate a little bit more
and deal with it,
you get back from the universe what you put in, and if you put that good energy and that good vibes all out in the universe, that true love gonna find you. As simple as that. It might be at the gym.
At Virtue.
Fact. Shout out to Virtue and Jay.
Virtue.
Look at how said
no.
You some really good men at Virtue.
Yeah.
See,
but the problem is y'all don't want a good man.
No.
Say
something real quick before the time run out. Being around Jake and Tone and Phil and Rich and just being around the guys I run now, I don't even want to date a guy. Them is like my brothers.
All them dudes you just made.
You ain't nothing.
I don't even want a guy in the streets no more. Like if a guy is in the streets, I don't even want him. It's not even attractive to me.
So I love you, Quita. You know I love you so much.
It's not attractive. Like I want a guy who has a.
What are them dudes you just named again? Say that again.
No,
do that.
This is my family.
Y'all ain't y'all got my brothers messed up. Y'all got my brothers messed up.
Explain it to
I'm gonna
him.
go ahead and say it.
What?
Dang,
yeah, they are the.
Hey, shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
Oh,
their business goes, and I pick their mind all the time. Me and Tony,
very smart business.
But
you know what though? They really.
Here's the thing. They're not there to enjoy them. They're there to do business.
But they super underrated in the business world.
They give me advice about guys.
Phil, Rich, Tone,
But this is the thing. What is the reason the diamonds are appealing to? Let's just say people. Is because it's flashy and it shines. And it's big and it's attention getting.
Appealing to me.
That's fine for the most. Let's talk about the masses. Let's talk about the masses.
Oh, to me, I about to say I don't care about.
But I say that to say, so the guy who comes and pulls out a band or whatever, and I'm not saying that. Listen, not saying that's they buy you all, but for some, especially the younger, and it's not all.
It's not all.
You're blinded by the flash, so that now. You that's what you're attracted to. You're easily accessible because this dude now will come drop a 20 for a Remy on the rocks.
No, I'm not attracted to that though.
But I'm not saying
we just talked about this though, didn't we though?
Yeah, that
it is what it
me
is.
At all. It's a turn off when a guy puts out his money to me. It's a turn off when he throws his money in my face.
But I'll tell you
I got my own money.
Before I get cut off, there's a reason why he feels there's a need because 8 out of those 10 women
are like
feed into that. Whether she's just trying to get his dollar or she's allowing him to play whatever game he wants to.
Or whatever that particular individual is putting out into the universe.
And I hate
that. Makes him think.
I hate that because that's right. Because I hate that because a lot of females out here who hold their own and who don't need a guy for nothing. No money, no nothing. Nothing.
Mr. Tabb, go on, take us home,
and
baby.
just like that, y'all.
We'll pick up on this conversation
next week. We will be back. I just want to thank y'all. Thanks, Hope, for coming in to the happy hour. Shout out to K-Sean. Shout out to Quita, y'all. I'm comedian Justin Tabb. Hey, what we doing
before we go? Hope just bullied his way on the show. He said he come back every week.
Well, come on, I'll be a 4-man panel now.
But go to www.itltraining.org.
This is what you came for. Hey, y'all, thank y'all for coming in. I'm just playing.
Now, tuning and training and mentoring for your student athletes, elementary and middle school, boys and girls, next week. Academic tutoring and
Instagram,
athletic
Facebook.
enhancement.
Go ahead.
Supposed to be
Facebook
back
now.
next week because we didn't
I'll
interview
come back
him.
next week. Inside the Lines Training on Facebook. It is ITL Training on Instagram and ITL Trains on Twitter. So, and the phone number is 502-298-4409. Call if your child needs athletic or academic help.
And we out.
We out. Bye, y'all.
Happy hour next week.
Oh.
Dang. You don't even talking to the mic. How you knock it over?
Look at that go.
No, ain't no looking at it go. When I see them, if I ever see them around, I'm not twerking.
Ah.